Hello, everybody. My name is Aiden Hankins, and today I'm going to be talking to you about college requirement in class and how attendance is mandatory. Imagine waking up in the morning and knowing that you're not going to be able to concentrate, and if you miss class, you'll lose points on the final day of classes that could ruin your final grade. Throughout the journey of college, we've seen that many students struggle time to time when it comes to showing up on time for class because either they have family requirements, they don't feel good, or maybe they don't live on campus. Well, all of this is a huge problem that goes on through college and really impacts some students' grades. So today we're going to be talking about why I think that you should not be required and it should not be a grade to show up to class. For the things that we need to work on, students learn better in class, but you need to make it a bit more fun situation for students to learn in, because some teachers are so boring when they are talking, and some teachers make lectures not fun, which makes it hard for students to want to pay attention and want to show up to class. But also having a required attendance makes it very hard for students who don't feel good, aren't on their best days, like not waking up feeling good at all, and making them show up to class. It's not fair, especially for students that struggle when they are sick because they had to go see a nurse and then they had to take medication, so concentrating in class is already hard enough. Well, according to the National Center of Education, statistics show that a large percent of college students do most of their work online. So when you are at home and in your dorm as a college student, that is when you are doing most of your homework, most of your research, most of your assignments that are very important to your final grade. While also, according to the American College Health Association, students' academic performances is often impacted by diseases, stress, anxiety, or mental health. And this is all big factors of why students sometimes struggle when they are going to class, because they don't feel good or they have issues going on at home or they are sick. For the satisfaction, we have Romer from Journal of Economics says students skip class due to boring lectures that don't keep students engaged. I think that teachers need to work better on having better lectures that keep students engaged, because when students aren't engaged, they don't feel like learning. And most students sit on their phone, which does not help them. But I think that most students who want to be there want a fun lecture. They want to be involved in something. They don't want to be sitting there listening to the teacher talk for an hour and a half, because that is not fun. And it really makes you disengaged in what you are trying to learn. Now let's envision this next part. Let's think about not having a required grade for showing up for attendance, and if you're sick, you're sick. You email your teacher and you make sure that you get all the work that you need from that class. Now, but we can make a required amount of absences. So once you hit a certain amount of absences, then you can get deducted points, because missing class is obviously not what you want as a teacher. But some students like to skip class, especially if there's not a required attendance. So making a certain amount of required attendance options is a huge help to making sure that we succeed in the students, and we make sure that we are showing up to class not because it's a required grade, but because we want to be there and that we want to learn what is going on in class. Now for action. According to Innovations of Higher Education, says students have a higher academic performance when being in class. This is very true, but some students are sick, some students have anxiety, some students are going through things that they might not be able to overcome and will make their performances in class less. So I think that keeping students in class but not making them required to show up to class will really help make sure and smoothen out what goes on in college and allow for students to have better grades and have a better time in class and want to pay attention more. Thank you guys for listening. I think that required class should definitely be talked about, and having a restriction on making students show up to class because it's graded and how it affects their grade based on the fact of what they could possibly going through personal issues or sicknesses that they can't overcome and will affect their time in class. Thank you guys so much.